Tuesday, August 16th, 2016, Village of Peoria Heights Board of Trustees meeting. Meeting is now called to order. Would you please rise and join us in the pledge of the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Present.
Trustee Carter.
Present.
Trustee Mariscal.
Present.
Trustee Cumming.
Present.
Trustee Reichert.
Present.
Trustee Fuller.
Present.
Thank you very much. First order of business tonight is the approval of the Board of Trustees minutes for the August 2nd, 2016 meeting. Are there any changes that need to be made to the minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes as submitted.
I have a motion from Trustee Cumming.
Second.
Second from Trustee Mariscal. All those in favor of approving the Board of Trustees minutes for August 2nd, 2016 as submitted, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. The ayes have it. The board has approved the minutes for the August 2nd, 2016 Board of Trustees meeting as submitted. Next order of business tonight is the correspondence, and that will be presented by Village Clerk Shauna Musselman.
I have no correspondence this evening.
All righty. Thank you very much. A few announcements. Number one, thank you to everyone who helped at the Tower Park Music Fest. We had a great couple days, and those of you who showed up and helped, thank you very, very much. It was very successful, and I think it helps to bring the community together. We also want to thank everybody who was here for the Gold Star Family Monument sign out there to be brought in, and we want to thank Patty Smith, who did a wonderful job of setting that up, and all of our representatives and leaders that showed up as well. It was a terrific day and really adds a lot to the village. We also want to extend our thoughts and prayers to the family and friends of Cliff Brumbaugh. Cliff passed away a couple weeks ago, and he had been our village treasurer for a number of years and was a solid gem of a man and was part of, as I've said before, part of the fabric of Peoria Heights. And we enjoyed seeing him at the Heights Bank, and just a very positive fellow, and we will very, very much miss him. Next up, Mr. Jim Cummings is here from the Peoria EDC regarding our CDAP grant, number 12-242027. We have a closeout hearing on this, and the hearing is now called to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Present.
Trustee Carter.
Present.
Trustee Mariscal.
Present.
Trustee Cumming.
Present.
Trustee Reichert.
Present.
Trustee Fuller.
Present.
Okay, thank you. Jim, the floor is yours.
This ain't working. I'm sorry I didn't make enough copies for the participant audit. Had one left, so if you want to pass that around, appreciate it. If anyone wants to give one up, they'd be glad to take it. I didn't think how many people would be here, didn't know. The hearing purposes are those as are cited in the federal regulation for this hearing. Description of activities undertaken and funds expended, the obtained citizens' opinions and views regarding activities and expenses through program performance, that is, results achieved, obtained citizens' opinions and views regarding performance under the subject grant. This hearing is one of two required by the federal rules for this grant. One was, remember, we had one ahead of a meeting when they authorized, before the authorization to file the application. Then one is required to, at the close of the project, to gain any opinions on, like I said, funds expended, what activities were undertaken, how it was undertaken. That's what this is. That's why we're having this hearing tonight. In order to provide you a project schedule program overview, I provided on the back sheet of your agenda a spreadsheet. They said the dollars, the footnotes below. You'll see it describes the project result. The outcome is that the replacement of 1,334 feet of water main in the 3,700 to 3,900 blocks of North Atlantic Avenue. The benefit of low-income persons, something we must mention here, was 85.19%, which has come from the income survey that was done prior to the application. And so we had 91 out of 107 persons, low moderate income, $167,000 out of 137.68 out of 196 and 194.01. The original budget, as you see on here, was $198,210 from the grant, $66,157 from the village, total $264,367. The grant has a little bit left over. You've seeded that. The result of this tonight, there's no other activities undertaken, to leave a little left that grant to give back. $196,194.01 is the total grant expenditures. The village expended $60,268.75. The activities listed here, construction for the grant was $177,879.01. Construction engineering, $18,315. For the village, expended $46,768.75 for construction. Nothing for construction engineering, but $13,500 for grant administration, for a total of $60,268.75. And you can see the total here provided. So the balances are what was left of the project, because it's been finished. We have as-built drawings and all things considered, it's approved by the engineer, so the project gets concluded, and that's why this hearing is being held. You see in the footnotes, it provides you information. If anyone wants to see it, be glad to provide it. You have copies here of all the invoices and the checks written for those expenses. And once this hearing is concluded, I will provide submit, I should say, the copy of the notice that was in the paper. I provided a copy of that to the clerk for certificate of publication. The attendance register passed around. Hopefully, if we can sign that, give that to the audience to fill out as well, not just for the board. Kyle, you're up.
We can do that whenever, Jim.
Yeah, you can. If they don't want to sign it, they don't have to, but that's what it's provided for. It's mostly for the audience, the people living in the Heights, rather than the board, but you'd be glad to answer any questions you might have as well. So it said we replaced 1,334 lineal feet of water main. The original project scope was 1,300, so when actual as-built, as installed, it's slightly larger than it was, but it came in slightly under the original budget, and as the funds left over. We originally had, I believe, about $5,000 left over in the grant money, and the village's share would have been, what left over would have been less, so you would have spent more proportionally. But we asked for or equal to the original grant budget, I'm sure to say. But we asked for the state to allow you to use some of the grant money and lower your share by about 1.5%. So you can see the leverage under the budget. It says 25%. That was what you had in the budget provided for in the application and in the grant document. Then we asked for that little extra grant money to use. They wouldn't let us use all of it. So let's go down to an arbitrary 23.5% of your shares instead of 25. And I asked if they could do it, and they said yes. And I asked for more, and they said no. So that's where we left it at. I mentioned all the information under Roman numeral 4 on the agenda. And I would open it up to anyone who has any questions about the performance, what was done, how it was done, the funds expended, etc. Just as provided for the purposes elsewhere on the agenda. Anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Any questions at all from the board for Jim? I will say thank you very much for your help. Did an outstanding job.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful project that you gave us really a heck of a boost on. It was something that needed to be done, and to see it done for the price that we were able to get it, and this is the way things have to work for a small community today.
Right.
60 years ago, guys would put drainage lines and water lines in for a turkey sandwich and a few bucks, and things have changed. So we really appreciate all your help, Jim.
Welcome.
You did a wonderful job. Any questions or comments from the board? Anyone in the audience have a question for Jim?
I want to add that the process includes, after this hearing, like I said, we have to have the materials, not the agenda, the spreadsheet. I have a report for that. But there's a grantee evaluation report. Ask you to sign, Mayor. There's 2 copies of it up there. You keep one, I keep one. One goes to Springfield with the other, with the hearing, the attendance register that has been passed around, the notice that was in the paper, and the minutes of this. You don't need the minutes of the whole board meeting, only the minutes of this component of it. And once that's done, I can submit it along with the as-built drawings. That's something new they require that the contractor provided, which we have.
Okay.
And then we'll get a closeout eventually. The actual closeout from the state, it doesn't really happen until after the audit would be done for this fiscal year. They don't close it out till the fiscal year in which the activity was still continuing, and we're grant funds spent this fiscal year. So we're getting closed out from a financial standpoint until much later, but we're doing our part right now. The ending date was, by the way, December 31st. We'd done a lot earlier than that.
All right.
Questions?
Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much.
If I can get that report, I'll take it with me tonight if I can.
Okay.
Right there in front of you somewhere.
Right here.
And as far as the minutes are concerned, get them when we can. I don't have to have them original. I have to have scanned copies, fine. There are 2 copies of the report. There's only one place to sign, unlike other stuff, this grant. But a dozen times, only one place to sign. You keep one, I keep one. I take twice.
Do those need to be sealed or just signed?
The minutes?
The forms for Mark.
No, just sign. There's no seal for that. There's only one place to sign, it's marked. So.
We'll keep the other one.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mr. Cummins.
All right, we will adjourn the closeout performance public hearing, and we go back to our Board of Trustees regular meeting. And again, Jim, thank you for those who haven't been involved all along, is that this dealt with the replacement of water main along Atlantic Avenue. There, what was it, 3 blocks long, Mr. Director? Or?
It was 2 blocks, but it was a critical improvement. It was only a 4-inch water main in that block, and for flow, for fire protection, it really needed to be upgraded to a 6.
Yeah, and we were constantly having breaks along there as well. So it was a major improvement. Unfortunately, we have a lot more to go, but for that area that desperately needed it, to get this done in really short order, I mean, from beginning to end, was fantastic.
Part of the income level of the hospital.
Right. Yeah, and everyone worked together, on this, and we again, thank you for your guidance on it, Jim, because it made things a lot easier. We really appreciate it. All right, we will now go to the trustee reports, and first up will be Public Works with Trustee Harn.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor Allen. I'd like to make a motion that we, to get, actually, sorry.
Whoa. Slow your roll there, trustee.
Too far ahead.
You want to get home to the Cub game.
Yeah. Whoa. Everything's really sensitive. Okay. The only thing I have is for Forest Park Drive will be closed on Thursday the 18th. That's this Thursday from 9 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. And the reason is because the Park District will be doing some tree work. And since the hill's closed, Public Works will jump in there, do some cleanup, mow some weeds, things like that. So Thursday from 9 to 1. And but I'll wait for the rest.
All right. Any questions at all for Trustee Harn? All right, thank you very much. We'll move to Administration Personnel with Trustee Cumming.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. Even though we're in the dog days of summer, the observation tower is now, not to be redundant, observing fall hours. The daily hours of operation will stay the same, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., but the days that it's open is now going to be Wednesday through Sunday. So the tower will be closed Monday and Tuesday, but open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Wednesday through Sunday. And the tower will remain open past Labor Day for an uncertain period of time, depending on fall weather. Stay tuned. More to come, I'm sure. Thanks.
All righty. Thank you very much. Any questions at all for Trustee Cumming? Okay, thank you. We'll move to Economic Development Village Improvements with Trustee Carter.
Thank you. I have nothing at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. Move to the Police Department with Trustee Fuller.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. The only thing we have is the neighborhood watch will be Monday, the 29th, 6:30 p.m. up here at Village Hall.
All right, thank you. Any questions at all for Trustee Fuller? Okay, thanks again. We'll go to Village Hall Building Maintenance with Trustee Mariscal.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I have nothing to report this evening.
All righty, thank you. And we will close out with the Fire Department with Trustee Reichert.
I have nothing this evening, thank you.
All right. Comments from the audience? Kevin, could you come on up to the village lectern and just give us your name, address, please?
Kevin Shields, through my company, Heights Development Company, own Heritage Square, 4450 North Prospect Road. It's not so much a comment as it is, I guess, a question. July 10th, when notice of the RFP regarding the Glass America shop was published, the second time it was published, there was language in here that the village may award a proposal at its village board meeting scheduled for August 16, 2016, which is today. Looking at the agenda, it's difficult for me to tell. I see an executive session here with the notation property, but I don't see any other notation here indicating that the village intends to award a proposal tonight. So I guess the question I have is, does the village board intend to award a proposal tonight?
No, when it comes time to award it, Kevin, it'll be on the agenda as an actual vote item.
Good, great, thank you.
All right. Any other comments from the audience? Okay. Thank you, everyone, for attending. No old business tonight, so we will go directly to new business. First up will be an authorization to go out for demolition bids, and that will be presented by Trustee Harn.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I'd like to make a motion, we approve, so we can go out for demolition bids for a portion of the Gray Boy building located at 4416 through 4426 North Prospect Road. We want to just tear down the lower part of the building. So I'd like to make a motion, we authorize going out for bids.
Okay, we have a motion from Trustee Harn.
Second.
Second from Trustee Reichert. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes?
You know, I can't remember because I don't have the numbers in front of me, but didn't we set a ceiling for the cost on that? Just curious. I mean, you know, it doesn't have anything to do with, the price of kumquats right now, but.
I don't think we've gotten that far.
Just couldn't remember.
Yeah, I don't think we've gotten that far.
Had set a threshold that we would accept bids up to.
But right now, I don't even know if we know the exact amount it's going to be.
No.
So we can't really even guess at where to put a ceiling on it. So I think we're going to have to wait until the bids come in and kind of figure out from there if we want to put a ceiling on it. But in the end, I would imagine we want to get it done. So we'll see how the bids come in.
Is there a basement under that half of the building?
Yeah.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's scary.
Is it big? The basement? It's bad. It's bad.
Hey, it's a full basement underneath the
middle, isn't it?
The middle, yeah. But it's from what it looks like is that it's not going to be a major thing in depth or access to it. So I don't think it's. My understanding was it's not going to present that big of a challenge.
No, so the Hermans are writing up a scope of work, and it'll be published, I think, Thursday in the paper. And we have a pre-bid meeting on Monday at 3 to walk the building, but they didn't think, and we did walk through with a demolition contractor, get an idea. They thought they could collapse a lot of it into the basement, so they wouldn't have to haul off a lot. The only tricky part is going to be the part that abuts the drive-through for Subway. Might have to brace that a little bit, do some things over there to protect that, but I don't have any numbers for it yet, so it's hard to say, but it wasn't anything extraordinary from what they had indicated.
Okay.
Do we know, are there any materials in there that we need to be concerned about, i.e. asbestos or anything?
Well, we've already
like
done a
that?
phase 1, which came back, no need to proceed to phase 2, so that's closed out. We had an environmental inspection done, and there was asbestos and some mastic in the floor tiling. That's been removed. There was some tape in the basement on some pipes that was removed, so that's all been cleaned out, so it should be ready to go.
Cool. Any other questions from the board? Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Mariscal. Trustee Cumming.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert. Trustee Fuller.
Okay, thank you. By a vote of 6-0, the board has approved the authorization to go out for demolition bids for the one-story portion of the Gray Boyd building located at 4414 through 4426 North Prospect, as outlined by Trustee Harn. Our next order of new business tonight, it has to do with an authorization to approve payment for spray patching, and that will be presented by Trustee Harn.
Thank you again, Mayor Allen. I'd like to approve payment to Mid-State Asphalt and Repair in the amount of $19,624 for spray patching. If you look around town, you can see where they've spray patched a little bit all over the place. It always holds up really well, so I make a motion we approve payment for $19,624.
Motion from Trustee Harn,
Second.
second from Trustee Cumming. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval to make payment to Mid-State Asphalt Repair in the amount of $19,624 for spray patching, as outlined by Trustee Harn. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Aye.
Trustee Carter. Trustee Mariscal. Trustee Cumming.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert. Trustee Fuller.
Okay, thank you. By a vote of 6-0, the board has approved payment to be made to Mid-State Asphalt Repair in the amount of $19,624, as outlined by Trustee Harn. Next order of business tonight is the Treasurer's Report, which will be read by our village clerk, Shauna Musselman.
All right, this represents the bank balances through July 31st, 2016. The grand total in the village accounts is $1,063,527.59. The grand total in the waterworks account is $544,965.11.
All right, are there any questions or comments regarding the Treasurer's Report? All right, then we will accept it as read. We'll be asking the board to go into executive session next regarding property. Prior to that, I want to remind everybody the next departmental committee meeting will be held Wednesday, August 24th, 6:30 p.m. Next Board of Trustees meeting will be held Tuesday, September 6th at 6:30 p.m. Everyone, you're more than welcome to stay through the executive session, but all we will be doing after that is returning to adjourn the full meeting. At this time, I need a motion from the board to have the board go into executive session regarding property.
I move that we adjourn to executive session.
Motion from Trustee Cumming. Second from Trustee Carter. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Thank you, the ayes have it. Board will now go into executive session regarding property. We will now adjourn for that. Thank you, everyone, for attending.